Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And if you thought that the revelations that Steve Bannon put out there and that we went over with Robbie Martin yesterday were bombshells, well, these are suitcase nuclear weapons being unleashed by Rudolph Giuliani. And believe me, I am no friend of Rudolph Giuliani. In the news clip that we're going to go over, he mentions another creature of the night, in my opinion, Bernard Kerik. So I want to be very careful about what he says and what we know about this laptop. Now, what we're going to end up seeing, and we're going to play the Bannon clip as well, we're going to play the Giuliani clip, is what Giuliani alleges to be a conversation via text message between Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. He then alleges that he is talking about Beau's ex-wife being in therapy, who we know that Hunter was sleeping with, going to therapy and discussing his relationship, his live sex video chats with a 14-year-old girl whose name is etched out. Giuliani then takes it a step further, and he says that there are pictures of underage girls via this laptop. And we have to be very, very careful here because you know how those authoritative sources will take things out of context. We're going to play the clips to show you and back it up. What I need you to do is thumbs this video up right now, subscribe and share, join the Burmis Brigade because we're really still only here because of you guys. And the GoFundMe's down below, $5, $10, $15. Obviously, it means the world to me in this trying time of not only demonetization, but deplatforming people like the last American vagabond without any explanation whatsoever. Remember, we don't have any strikes. We've been around 13 years on this channel. So, check out the documentary films while you can before history is erased. They're free on this platform. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and, of course, Shade the Motion Picture. And if you haven't made the free Rockfin account yet, what are you waiting for? You see that behind me, 10, 20, 20? You missed out if you didn't see it live and you're not a premium member. We did a whole thing on the Department of Justice, which we're going to get to in a second, and this Google antitrust suit. Because, I had a friend of mine actually say that, start saying, oh, they're whining about it, and this antitrust suit is ridiculous. And I go, no, it's not. They're aggregating content. I go, for instance, and we're going to show you this live, just check out what happens when I type in Rudy Giuliani. All I was looking for was a picture of Giuliani that I could use in the thumbnail, right? Now, look what the Google headlines are. All right? This is about a couple hours ago, so it may have changed. Daily Beast, Giuliani, even if Hunter laptop story isn't accurate, Americans are entitled to know it. You see how they cherry pick that one? So, all right, first headline, trying to sow doubt that these emails or anything on the laptop is real. That's first. Second headline, is the Trump campaign colluding with Russia again? I typed in Rudy Giuliani. And look at the third one. Joe Biden's endearing defense of his son Hunter. You see what I'm saying here? So I said, look, you can just type in Rudy Giuliani, someone who you know I'm not a fan of, and you can't tell me that right now that's not manipulation, right? And that doesn't have anything to do with the election. Of course it does. If these text messages are accurate and Giuliani's basically putting himself on the line here, then we know that Biden was well aware that his son was a CP loving you-know-what. And that's another layer of this crazy scandal that's coming out and being completely suppressed by the media. So again, go make the free account over at Rockfin. And at 11 a.m. Eastern, we go live. We go up to 2 hours. And like I said, there's a whole segment you missed if you didn't see it there. But that's the new model because who knows if I'm going to be here tomorrow. And this is probably going to be one of the only ways that you're going to be able to catch this information. But we're going to strive forward. Let's do it. All right. So report, explicit photos of minor in Hunter Biden's laptop were of a relative, and he was in some of the photos with her. Well now, this 14-year-old girl supposedly a relative now. And again, I'm not saying it. Hoft and the Gateway Pundit are. All right? So before we get to Giuliani on Newsmax talking about it, I want everybody to check out what Bannon said. Because what Bannon said was really important. You know, it's kind of talking about how we know that these are authentic.
About this latest bombshell from the New York Post, they'll look at the inception of these documents. They'll say, well, how do we know that these emails are verified or anything like that? But I know that
here's how you know. It's very simple. Rupert Murdoch, one of the biggest media moguls in the world, owns the New York Post. Rupert Murdoch's lawyers did the due diligence here. That's a fantasy. Rupert Murdoch's one of the most sophisticated, tough media entrepreneurs in the world. His company's market capitalization, I think, is $60 or $70 billion. Don't give me any nonsense of what these guys on the left say, Alex, about, oh, how do you know it's true? Here's why you know it's true. It's on the pages of the New York Post. And if you think it's not true, if the Bidens think it's not true, let them sue the New York Post. Because the New York Post, I have full discovery on everything the Bidens have ever done. Not just on this hard drive, on every relationship they've had.
I think that's kind of a misnomer, because at the end of the day, what do we think is going to be really done with this? We now know the FBI had this laptop. You see, that this is why when you get to the upper echelons of the FBI, they're the cleanup crew, they're the cover-up crew. When you get to the upper echelons of the DOJ, they're the cleanup crew, they're the cover-up crew. Bill Barr ain't your friend either. Make no mistake about it. You know, I don't love Steve Bannon. Remember, Steve Bannon, before Epstein got picked up in the midterm elections, I believe in 2018, it was the Post, and we're going to do it live just to show you this. New York Post, Bannon meeting Epstein. Okay? So yes, here it is right here on page 6 of the New York Post. Just so you understand what he just said. Here's the conundrum. There it is in 2018. See, we report both sides. We're not partisan here. Okay, so apparently Bannon met with Epstein, to try to get him, basically to get behind some of the Republican candidates. So make no mistake about it. These people are all pretty dirty. So let's continue with what Bannon has to say, because right here, Bannon's basically saying, sue me. He didn't sue the New York Post for that story.
Call the Bidens bluff. If it's false, then sue Rupert Murdoch and the New York Post and let them. They will countersue you. They will get discovery of every text message, every phone call, every email, and let's see where Joe Biden stands. Joe Biden will be ripped apart by that discovery, and that's why right now they're hiding behind Facebook and Twitter.
And building on your point, there are pictures. I mean, you can't necessarily fabricate Hunter Biden, for example, with a crack pipe. That. No,
you could. You could, but those pictures aren't fake. That's the point. You could do that, okay? You could do that, but they're not even alleging that. They're trying, again, they're media spinning. They're media spinning. They're aggregating content. Look, again, Rudy Giuliani, that's what you get. And I'm no fan of Rudy Giuliani, but that's what you get. Give me a break. That's fair? Come on.
It's not something that can be fabricated or anything like that. There are visual pieces of evidence that people can look at for themselves. And
there's 1,000. Listen, this treasure trove. There's 1,000 photographs. There's dozens of tapes. Many of those sex tapes. There are 5 hours, I think, of audio. There's 40,000 emails and text messages. This is a treasure trove. Yeah. People can go through this for a long time. And guess what? Joe Biden's going to have to embrace exactly what he raised in Hunter Biden. Not just that, the entire family, because it's all there, from his brother to his daughter-in-law.
So just take a look. Bannon made some pretty big comments there. So now we're going to get to Rudy Giuliani alleging that this text message is about his inappropriate relationship with a 14-year-old girl. The Gateway Pundit is now saying the minor on the laptop may have photos with her, okay, and that it's supposedly a relative. But here we go.
Well, this is really a very, very sensitive one. There's a text message to his father in which he says the following, and he's discussing his sister-in-law, who for quite some time was his lover. And he says, she told my therapist that I was sexually inappropriate. This would be with a unnamed 14-year-old girl.
Unnamed 14-year-old girl.
When she says that I FaceTime naked with the unnamed 14-year-old girl. And the reason I can't have her out to see me is because I'll walk around naked, smoking crack, talking tom girls on FaceTime.
You know, and I'm going to make it large behind me so people can take a look. And supposedly, again, this is a text message between Hunter Biden and his father, Joe, discussing, his brother, his deceased brother's ex-wife, going to therapy and discussing his relationship with a 14-year-old girl.
When she was pressed, she said that the unnamed 14-year-old girl never said anything like that, but the bottom line is that I created and caused a very unsafe environment for the kids.
You think? You think that might be an unsafe environment for kids? I mean, my goodness.
This is supported by numerous pictures of underage girls.
So, Mr. Mayor.
Now he says underage girls, a.k.a. multiple. Put that together with what Bannon says. I'm just pointing that out. This is Jason Burmis ain't saying it. I'm putting out what's in the public arena right now.
Mayor, that's dynamite stuff, and I've seen it.
I turned it over to the.
You turned it over to the Delaware State Police, correct?
Yes, yesterday. Bernie Kerik and I turned it over to the Delaware State Police.
Once again, not a fan of Bernie Kerik. Now, the question is, if the FBI already had this, why were they dragging their feet? What is going on? Cover up crew, clean up crew, cover up crew, clean up crew. What do you think? Department of Justice, what's going on? You tell me. You think anything's going to actually come of this, again, very tame DOJ lawsuit? When you look at, again, this is the Google result. They have the first and second largest search engines in the world. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Therefore, being banned on it without explanation, without actually breaking any of their rules, should be a big deal. It should be a big deal. And again, I just want to remind everybody, Monday through Friday, we do it live, 11 a.m. over at Rockfin. Make the free account now. And if you go premium, that's a great way to support me, especially because I may not be on this platform much longer. While I am, let's get the Burns Brigade up over 60,000 before they just take me off the air for some arbitrary, selectively enforced reason. And make sure you check. You want to see more about Joe Biden that you won't believe. Fabled enemies, fabled enemies, fabled enemies, fabled enemies. We played a section of it with Biden today over on the Ask Me Anything. Something the right still won't touch. Okay, that's why it's not about right or left. It's about right and wrong. And I need everybody to check out this. But again, think about it. Think about if Don Jr. was texting his father about inappropriate relationships with a 14-year-old girl. And, I mean, can you imagine what the media firestorm would be? The double standard is right in your face. So I can't ignore that either. And, I still can't ignore the actual relationship with Epstein and Barr, right? And you just saw it, Steve Bannon. That's reality, baby. That's reality. So we're into reality here. $5, $10, $15. Big donors need you now more than ever. The GoFundMe is the big way that I do it. Again, I want to thank all of you. I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.